Hello again, my friends. Frank Michelle here, representing Miami Revealed. Again with my friend Nelson Corral, my former partner, 43 years of law enforcement experience. Nelson, welcome back to the show. Let's do the cafecito thing.
Of course.
God bless America.
God
to
bless
have
America.
this. Actually, I don't want to say God bless America anymore. I want to say God save America.
Oh, yeah.
Just like the British say, God save the king or God save the queen. Well, from now on, it should be God save America. Because yesterday, the greatest travesty of justice or injustice was committed by a cabal of traitors that don't want their fraud, their excessive use of power, and the amount of money they embezzle from us taxpayers to be known. Tell me what you saw yesterday, and I know it disgusts you because it disgusts everybody. I mean, you know, it affected me, and I'm not a person to be affected by news. But please, Nelson, tell me, how do you feel? What did the people tell you, please?
I feel cheated on, Frank. Quite frankly, it's the first time in the history of the United States that a former president get charged with something and let alone get found guilty on all 34 counts, felony counts. I think they made him greater than what he was already. Because,
So you're saying they just made him a martyr?
Yes, they made him a martyr. Because he collected, I believe, close to or $50 million in no time in donations. That's the country donating $5, $10, whatever. And look how many people donated to his fund.
Well, remember that we spoke in the previous show, and yesterday President Trump made a comment that is so true. And the reason why I know this comment very well is because I've said it before. Every time that I run for office and the Miami Mafia or the Cuban Mafia wants to keep me out of there because I'm not going to accept paybacks, I'm not going to accept sweet deals, I'm going to do what I swore to do, just like a cop. You know, serve and protect our citizens.
That's correct.
Protect our Constitution. That right now, what do you think the world view of our laws and Constitution?
Oh, they saw a divided nation. Because right now, the nation is divided. We're headed to a civil war.
I didn't want to use that word, but you know what? As a student of history, and you know that I love history, and I know almost everything about history that could be known. I learn more every day. The catalyst and the mechanics for a catastrophe like that have been set in place and are in motion. Do you believe the news at all?
No, I am still in shock. I was very disappointed. I am still very disappointed, and I will be disappointed. But at the end of the day, there's really nothing here. All they've done is made him greater than what he was.
But, Nelson, it's like, you know, when they falsely arrested me, the last time they falsely arrested me for defending myself and standing my ground when somebody threatened to shoot me and said, today you and I are going to die and we're going to shoot it out right now and we're both going to die by gunshots. I follow the law, but the Miami Police Department, I've always said, is the most corrupt police department in the history of Florida. Manipulates whatever they want, and they send it to the state attorney's office. The state attorney the same day said, there's no crime here, and threw it out. And yet, they kept me in jail for 4 days, shackled to a bed, hands and feet.
They kept you in jail 4 days?
Yes.
Wow.
Okay? In 4 days, hands and feet. Even though the state said, no crime. The section says, justified. Okay? But they did this so they could keep criminal in office so he can sell the land, namely the so-called freedom part for soccer, and by suckers voting for it, and they're gonna be multimillionaires, just like it did with the Miami Marlins Stadium.
Yeah.
What is the attendance there at all?
Only when you get big teams like the Yankees or the Giants come in town, that's when it sells out. Other than that,
It's empty all the time.
yeah, but they play a lot of games during the week, and 12 noon is very difficult for people to go. But they thought that by moving the stadium locally down here to where the old Orange Bowl was, that they will increase attendance, and it did not.
Okay, increase attendance if you look at the roadways, okay? There's just no, it can't handle the capacity of
No.
when the incoming and outgoing traffic from an event occur. But they manipulated the city ordinance in order to justify using these streets that are incapable of handling that amount of traffic. So you want to go to a ball game, you're in traffic an hour and a half to 2 hours.
And the traffic, not only the parking, there's not adequate parking for everybody.
But everybody made out, and they all got paid under the table. They took $50 million of our taxpayers' money without putting it to a vote or without even asking the public. Will we be okay giving away that much money? $50 million would have bought 5 low-income housing units.
That's correct.
And then the land was given away as well.
Yeah, it technically belongs to the county.
So everybody got rich, nobody goes, they use our money for it. That's called embezzlement. That's called fraud. That's called the perpetrators traitors. And right now, one of the biggest traitors is Francisci Suarez, Nerayewa, city manager. And just 2 days ago, there was a ruling that Vicky, whatever her last name was, the city attorney, who is one of the most corrupt city attorneys I've ever met or come to see, and she was selling or buying or giving her husband liens on property that were fined and had fines, so he could go buy them. They would get rid of the fines, and then he would build homes there, and guess what? Made a ton of money. Meanwhile, they're inflicting those fines on poor people that can't pay them to get rid of them and somehow buy the land.
Yeah, correct. Very sad.
I was on the code enforcement board for 12 years, and I became the chairman of the City of Miami Code Enforcement Board. And I couldn't believe the amount of abuse that takes place there, even to today. But let's go back to the topic. Do you remember growing up and watching Watergate?
Yes.
Watergate was the biggest thing in the early 70s, right?
Yeah, Richard Nixon.
A slander, a scandal, well, of presidential performance, pun intended, you know. And, you know, I happen to be like kind of distant family to one of the, what they call plumbers. And he told me the entire story of what they did and how they did it. We'll talk about that in another show. Nelson, I've been a lifelong Democrat, okay? And you're a Democrat as well.
Yes.
Okay. I vote for the right person. I don't care about parties.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
care
right.
about color, sex. I don't care about dogs and cats. I don't care about anything. What I care about is the laws in the Constitution of our great nation that almost in shambles right now. This is by voter's card in Florida, Miami-Dade County. I'm a Democrat. I am not a Democrat anymore. I denounce being a Democrat. I voted most of the times, or 95% of the time, for Republicans. I voted for Mr. Trump. I'm going to vote for President Trump again. And even if his name is not on the ballot, I urge everyone, take a pencil, a pen, a paintbrush, I don't care what you take, and write it in. Write it in the ballot, Donald Trump, and check it for president. It's completely legal. It is your goddamn right. Exercise it. Nelson, I'm turning this up today. Have you reconsidered?
Oh, I'm doing the same thing. And I've voted Republican ever since Ronald Reagan. But I became a Democrat because when I got sworn in, my mom told me to elect the Democratic Party. So I did. I was young, into Republican or Democrat, so I just did what she told me to do, and I've been a Democrat ever since. And I've always voted Republicans, like I said, since Ronald Reagan.
But you vote Republicans not because of the party, you vote because of the person.
The person.
And
I vote whoever I think is the right person.
well, I'm glad you mentioned Ronald Reagan, because I had the honor of meeting him twice, and he was the first president I ever voted for, and voted for him twice. And George Bush, thinking that we do have the power to change our lives and our government, because for the people, by the people, of the people. And again, we are not a democracy, okay? We are not national socialists. We are not totalitarian. Our nation was founded as a republic. A republic, because democracy, in my opinion, is an undercover name for National Socialism or Communism. Please comment on that, Nelson. You have so much knowledge.
Well, actually, Frank, I really don't. I'm not into politics.
Okay, well, you have enough experience. You have experience.
Experience, yes. I said I voted for Ronald Reagan. I'm going to be one of 5 people that probably admits voted for Bill Clinton the first time. I didn't vote for him the second time. But
That's funny.
I
I did it reverse. The first time I didn't vote for him. Then the second time I had no choice, because the other one was a dweeb, and I voted for Bill Clinton, and I regret it to this day.
I kind of like Bill Clinton. He was charismatic. I don't think he did anything for this country, but most people vote charismatically. If they like the candidate or not, they don't know what the candidate stands for or what their
policies.
Exactly. I like them, and that's it.
So it's like Shakespeare said or wrote, it's either the blind leading the dumb or the dumb leading the blind. Because if you're going to vote for somebody who's charismatic and has no idea how to run a government or an agency.
Well, the majority of the people have no idea, Frank, what each candidate stands for.
Well,
what are their views on certain things, they don't know.
Yeah, you're right. And then again, we got so much voter fraud here in Miami-Dade County. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows that, Del Portilla, he was giving, or his people were giving $100 for their votes. And the reason why I know it is because I have witnesses. I have videotaped confessions from people that they approach them to sworn confessions or statements that they were approached by the Portilla's people and offer $100 to steal their vote or to sell their vote.
Wow.
And
those people went for the money. They didn't care who the Portilla is or what he stands for either.
Meanwhile,
they just went for the vote, for the money.
Of course. And meanwhile, the Miami Police Department in the city of Miami wanted him back in office, a known felon. a criminal.
Yes.
You know what? Let's take a break, and let's continue on the next episode. God bless you. Thanks again for tuning in. God bless America. God bless.
God bless America.
And the best of luck to President Trump.
Amen.